Beretta Cx4 rear lanyard, we're going to most likely have it in the assembled position. Go ahead and undo the male buckle, remove the webbing from the male buckle and from the tri-glide. Now, this is very important that you remember the configuration of this hardware. Go ahead and lay the lanyard out like this, and since it's going to be for a right-hand shooter, you're going to lay the left-hand weapon up, left-hand side of the weapon up. Go ahead and remove the webbing from the tri-glide, remembering the configuration of the buckle, and it's real easy to do by simply removing the webbing and setting the buckle down just as it was. Remove the tri-glide, set it down. Remove the second tri-glide, set it down. Now, observe that the tri-glide on the two center tri-glides were installed differently. It goes from the top into the bottom and then out back the top again. Now, what you're going to want to do is run the male buckle pointing towards the rear and the female buckle on the left-hand side of the weapon and kind of center it just like this. Once you've got it centered, go ahead and pick up the tri-glide, run it through the top of the tri-glide into the existing sling slot, and then back out the tri-glide to where it just kind of secures it. And what that's going to do is to keep it from moving up and down. You want to position the webbing to where the male buckle just comes over the hump. You're going to run the webbing over the opposite side of the weapon, and you're going to pick up the tri-glide, run it through the top, through the sling attachment on the opposite side of the weapon, and then back through the tri-glide, pulling the webbing nice and tight. Now, this is where it differs from the next tri-glide. This time you're going to stick the last tri-glide up through the bottom and then through the top, just like you would a normal belt. Slide the tri-glide towards the rear. Now, pick up the female buckle, and you're going to have a wedge side. Point the wedge down. Bring the webbing up through the rung that's closest towards the buckle portion, and then bring it back through the wedge at the very back. Now, go ahead and buckle the female and male buckle together. You're going to want to position the webbing again, manipulating it to where you have the female and the male buckle both equal in relationship to each other on the weapon. Go ahead and pull the webbing nice and tight. Once the webbing's nice and tight and you have the buckles and the webbing adjusted, go ahead and remove the male buckle from the female buckle, keep in its place, and then go ahead and insert the webbing back through the tri-glide. Once it's through the tri-glide, you're going to go ahead and insert it back through the last run of the tri-glide and then double it back on itself to secure it and keep it from loosening. Now, for webbing maintenance, you're going to run it through the male buckle and just tuck it out of the way. Now, reinsert the male buckle into the female buckle, and the installation is complete. Now, the male buckle should be on the left-hand side of the weapon and be able to hook it into the sling and keep the weapon up